Okay.
Welcome to the American Dreamers Club podcast,
Cheers.
first episode. Crazy, right? So, what do we talk about? I know. So, I was listening to Myron this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and he said a few things that really caught my attention
Uh-huh.
because he was saying that it's all about your identity.
You're opening a can of worms.
Yeah, I know. But if he said it, then I mean, and it's true. Nothing out of the ordinary, really.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what he was saying is like a lot of people, like like the Hispanic community, like the Black community, like whatever community, like a lot of people is just because it is like he's African American, so he said, just because I'm African American, that doesn't mean that I have to support everything that the African American community stands by, because I don't identify myself just as an African American man in America. Basically what he's saying is, listen, your identity is on who you are. In his case is that I'm a newborn child. I'm a Christian. Same for you and me, but that's what I go by. I don't buy into the just because I am African American I have to do certain things one way or the other, or I have to support this person or that person or whatever. So that was interesting because a lot of times, like we close our circle and get stuck in our circle just because those are all learned, like everything is learned behavior. Like we come into this world, it's an empty, computer chip, right? Like it's completely empty,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything that how we behave, the way we talk, the way everything, like the way we operate, is basically learned behaviors, either through our parents, our school, teachers, church, whatever, our environment. And so that made me think about the circle. And I learned this from you. No one really made me aware of that before, until like you brought it to the table, and I'm like, in the beginning I had a lot of resistance because for me that was like the norm, right? Like anything that's normal for you, like if you haven't been exposed to anything and or to other things, like it's for you, that's your normal, that's for you, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But when you brought it to the table, especially you being my wife, it's like, okay, so you know how it is. Like sometimes, like anybody else can tell you something or one thing or the other, but then if your wife tells you, it's like, I remember when my mom used to tell me, like, this, and that. Don't do this, and that, or like you should do this. Mostly, like you should. Like if I was you, I would do this and then whatever. And then I'm like, nah, that's not how it is. And then my friends will tell me the same exact thing, and then I'll go ahead and do it. And then I go back and have the audacity to go back and say to you, right, like, oh, so and so told me this, and man, that's a great idea. That's so like awesome. And in the back, you're like, didn't I tell you that a couple of days ago? You know what I mean? But anyway, just to not deviate from the circle thing. So for me, like it took me a minute to realize that my circle, like the people that influenced me in one way or the other, like while I was growing up, or like my friends and things like that, played a huge impact or role into my behavior. And I always knew that, I was special. I believe everyone has special talents, special skills. But those skills and those talents and ideas and visions and dreams, right? Like our podcast is the American Dreamers Club, can be tainted, can be held back, can be stopped or slowed down by those influences because they haven't been made aware. Because they might be in the same position that I was before it was revealed to me, if that makes any sense. Seriously, it's like I'm talking and I'm realizing I'm like, man, I shouldn't be friends. Nah, I'm just kidding. But like I should like slow down certain things and you know so I can continue growing. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop being friends with whoever or hanging out or operating with them in a certain way, but I may, slow down on certain things so I can get to the finish line, so I can make our dreams, come true sooner. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't allow those, I have the power to stop you know the influences of those people or situations or scenarios from me reaching my goal, if that makes any sense, right? You're looking at me like,
I think that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching.
so now I can
I
finish my
just want
drink.
to sing. I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
For real.
Um, you were talking about the identity, and I think that a lot of people, I don't think I know. Um, I know that a lot of people have identified themselves with a lie. And because it's a lie, they are behaving in a certain way and they're doing certain things. They're acting in the way that they have accepted that identity to be. And from a parenting standpoint, I'll tell you, and a psychologist actually always says, do not tell a child, oh, you're so dumb, why are you doing that, right? Because really what the child, especially under year 7, if you tell a child you're so dumb, that's literally what you're putting in the child's brain. What you tell your child has not even a lot of impact. It has almost 99% of the impact for the rest of their lives. What they were told when they were little, when we were little, impacts even how you react now at your age, how I react now at my age. And I mean, nobody had perfect parents. And that's why it's so important to renew our mind every day, to to analyze what we're telling ourselves, what we're doing, how we're behaving, and analyzing to see if that's the correct thing to do and way to do it based on the objective and our goals for life. And
I'm sorry, you can take off your.
I don't know, it's kind of weird. Um, because the problem is that a lot of people identify as blank. You can put whatever you want in there just because they want to be and feel accepted by a group of people. And the identity should not be for you to be accepted. The identity is because you are, period.
Right.
That's it. Um, and the identity, what you were talking about, race and cultures and stuff like that. You can be a part of a culture, for example, because you grew up in a certain country or in a certain way, or let's say your family um, doesn't celebrate Christmas because of X or Y reason, or you do, or whatever any other holiday, and that's part of your identity. But even for me, the religion I was raised with, I was so in that box of that is my religion and I am going to defend it no matter what, and that religion became part of my identity And it got to a point in time in my life when I was 24, which we're not going to talk about all that happened. Not 24, I'm sorry, 28. And because that's for another time. But when I was 28, I realized that everything I had adopted in my life in that religion was really not me or what I was supposed to be. It was just taught to me. And I never looked for the facts. I never researched myself. I never looked into it to see, like, if I'm saying I'm this religion, which I'm not even going to say it because there's no point of us like dividing ourselves, but really it's kind of like encouraging ourselves to say, okay, if you identify as this religion, for example, being a part of you and your identity, you really have to know that that is really part of who you are, and that's how you behave because you researched, you went and discovered and did the facts and read and all that stuff. And it's not because your family told you or your friends look cool doing that, or because this group of friends look like they're having fun and you want to belong and want to be accepted by them, or really any other thing. So based on your identity, you once you know who you are, know who you want to be, but who you are, the essence of you, then you can talk about your goals
Right.
and your dreams and where you're going, where you are. You're in point A and you want to go to point B, where you're gonna go. And there is a specific type of people, even professionals or whichever, whatever thing or people you need to get to that point. And that's where I was telling you the other day, there is nothing wrong with having certain friends. There is nothing wrong with having, friendships. But at the end of the day, when you think about your goal, you have to think, how much time of my time as a person I'm devoting to these friendships, and are they helping me to get to my point B? Because even though there is nothing wrong with you having friends, and I need to make sure that I say it's not that you're going to take advantage of your friends to get you to point B. However, who you're hanging out with can either make it faster or make it slower for you to get to point
Right,
B.
right.
And for example, you as the man of the house, not only you as a man, as an individual, you have your goals and your priorities, but you as a husband, you have priorities. You have to prioritize your family.
Hmm.
You have to prioritize God. You have to prioritize, all these things over your friends. So that's where you're like, okay, you have to again analyze who you are and then where you're putting your time in, what you're consuming, what you're letting your head and your brain absorb and accept. Because many times that becomes, without you realizing or wanting it to be, that becomes your identity. You
It's
know,
like how much you fit all those things into your life
yes.
schedule, especially like if you, I mean, there's time to have fun and everything, you know. But truly, for me, like I discover at a later time. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
wish I knew, just like many other people. I wish I knew, you know,
You wish you had met me before. That's just say it.
no, for real. And so now, like my goal with the American Dreamers team, or American Dreamers Club podcast, or in general the brand, it's to help the younger generation and even older generation, like let them know like it's never too late to change.
Hmm.
Like we are in constant change. We're always, I believe in, we're always evolving. That's why I hate and I do not allow those things to fit into my life. When people say, um Well, just because you're 35, 40 years old or whatever age, then you should dress this way or you should behave that way. Yeah, there are certain things like I don't do that I used to do when I was 20. You know what I mean? Because that's not part of my identity, really. But that doesn't mean that I'm not always evolving.
Hmm.
Like, I am who I am. And I've always been a rebel when it comes to, like, don't put me in a box. Like, I don't like to be put in a box. Like, God created me and everybody. So why am I going to allow people to put me in a box? So when I look at like this is wide open, right? Like this was just an empty canvas for me to take advantage of and paint my own picture,
Hmm.
my own life. So for me, like I just don't like it. I'm not gonna say hate because I'm trying to avoid to say that word, but I dislike when people try to put me or anybody else in a box. Like truly, um, I like to help people by telling them, hey man, it's never too late. Like I want to truly help people. It's not too late. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you have dreams of your own and you are 50, 60, 70 years old, there's still time. As long as I'm breathing, as long as we're breathing and we're able to, to do things, your dreams can come true. I'm a testament of that. Like, just like in the last 10 years when we have accomplished so much
Hmm.
things that it have taken other people 30 years, and we're not even done. Like I feel like this is actually the beginning, and everything that we learn and the struggles that we have gone through, we're utilizing that to propel ourselves, with the help of God, to the next level, whatever the next level is. That's another thing. People, oh, we want to take it to the next level. Well, what's the next level? You know what I mean? So I feel like the next level it's always is an ongoing thing. For me, it's an ongoing thing every day. I have my ups and downs, my highs and my lows, but the next level is always like every day. It's 24 hours a day. When I wake up, it's gonna be a different day. Every day brings its own challenges and victories and whatever. So yeah, I don't like the "don't put me in a box" thing. I really wanted to touch on that because I'm sure that you were told or have been told many times, as a woman, as an immigrant, as as a beautiful woman, I should say, you have been told throughout your life, especially like we're talking about your circle, right? Our circle, that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Like, are you really, why do you want to buy the house? Why do you want to live in that area? Why? Like the whys, like people question uh your goals, you know what I mean, and your dreams. So like, have you ever felt like telling someone other than me, like, shut up, like, I'm going to do it anyway? Like, who are you to put limitations on me? Like,
Of course, I've felt like it, but
you're not as blunt as me, I guess.
I think it's more like I don't waste my time wanting to tell people or even telling people don't put me in a box or you don't know who I am on all that stuff. Like I don't waste my time on that. Like people can say whatever they want. At the end of the day, I know what I'm going to do, whether they say it or not.
Right.
That's them. I just don't listen to that. I don't respond to that. I don't waste my time, and I don't think that's being disrespectful. In fact, that's being respectful because that's their opinion, and that's fine.
Right.
I'm gonna do whatever it is that I'm going to do, but that I'm going to do whatever I want to do, quote unquote, or what I'm going to do. It's very subjective because a lot of people take that freedom or use that freedom to do damage or to ¿cómo se llama? Or to numb pain, traumas,
Of their
past,
own.
yes, of their own. And it's it's hard when you're dealing with that. And that's why I'm like, you know what? You can do whatever you want. I do whatever I want. But he's, again, going back to identity. I don't do whatever I want because I feel like it and with an attitude. And you don't tell me what you,
Right,
no,
right.
that is pointless. You have to know who you are, where you're going, and based on that, you know where you're going. Like, if you have that goal and you're going like that, there's so many things and so many people and so many, you know, dangling carrots and whatever you want that are going to try to stop you from getting there. Um, and it is up to you to listen to that. Most of it is going to be lies. Most of it is going to be true. It is 100% the truth. But you have the option to choose whether you think about them, whether you accept them, whether you take them, whether you analyze them, or you're gonna put them aside because right now it's not what you're gonna do. You're just gonna keep on going straight. You're gonna get there. That's your goal. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. And when you were saying that, um, you know, tomorrow it's another day, and all these things that you have to keep on going and go to the next level. I also think that the next level, everybody talks about the next level, but the next level, it's really based on your identity and your purpose. And I think those two go together. Your identity, who are you? And it's not color, it's not race, it's not religion, it's not even gender. Like, who are you as a person? Who created you? What you were supposed to do? Your purpose. You know what I mean? Like,
Your why.
this is a finger, and it is not just any finger. It is my right hand thumb, and it's this little, and this little finger doesn't feel bad because it's little and chubby, and this one is tall and thin.
Right,
This
right.
finger has a job. It has a purpose, and it knows its identity. You know what I mean?
You're talking little because we're short and like
We're well.
everyone
I could do
surrounding
this one.
us here in America is 6 feet tall.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like that's interesting though, very interesting because we all have a purpose. Yeah, thumbs up for real. Like, we all have a purpose. We all have we play a huge role, in whatever you do, whatever we do, you know. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I was saying like the box thing. I keep on going back to that, like because we shouldn't put, and a lot of times we put ourselves not because
The
anybody else tells you.
circle of life.
Yeah. So like we were saying how we grew up and like all those things, like we sometimes we allow those things, and if we don't realize that we have an identity and a purpose, we can find ourselves stuck, and we don't even realize why. Like we go through so many things and we don't realize why.
I'll
but
tell
when
you
but
why. When we don't know who we are,
that's it.
we allow, without noticing and realizing, we allow for other people, the environment, and just anything that happens to tell us who we are. And then we go with it. We just
Right.
go with the flow. They tell us we're this. Oh, okay. And then we go, oh, no, by the way, you're not that. You're this. Oh, okay. And that's not right because you're going to drive yourself nuts.
Yeah, I was telling like I was telling this guy last night. I'm like, man, he does the lawn care, for us and stuff like that, and he's good, like, and he has gone through so many trials, and because of his own decisions,
Yeah.
because of the environment, again, the environment that he surrounds himself with, and so I was telling him like, yo, like you have so much potential. Like you have not even potential, you have the skills. Because potential is like, yeah, it's something that you sometimes when you say potential it's like so far away. But like I'm telling the guy, listen, man, all you got to do is get a
Yeah.
lawn mower, a trimmer, buy it used on marketplace and walk around the neighborhood like the kids. Next thing you know, you'll have like 10 houses that
Hmm.
on a weekly basis at a minimum $25. Do the math, you're good at math. And so before you know it, man, you'll have 20 houses, and now you have uh like a those things, like what's it called, like that you could carry like the kids and stuff, like a boogie,
Like the boogie?
yeah, like I don't know what it's
What is the
called, I
boogie?
forgot.
Like the one
Like a
you take to
carriage,
the
like a
beach?
little carriage, like yeah, exactly. So now you put that in there, and then you're walking around the neighborhood. Next thing
Boogie,
you
boogie,
know, you have two
boogie.
of them, and then before you know it, you have 50 clients at $25 a pop, and that's at a minimum, right? On a weekly basis, dude. Before you know it, like I keep saying that, yeah, because this is exactly what I was telling him. Before you know it, man, like you'll have such a book of business that you can hire a helper and get a little truck, and your company will take off. I know that for a fact because you're that good, and you're personable. You care about people,
He's a hard worker.
and you're a hard worker. I mean,
Mhm.
he's just like hard worker, and but then again, he's stuck
Why do you think that he's stuck?
because his environment. Like he said, man, you're right. Like you're right. But I've been telling him this, in one
Since
way or another.
2016.
Yeah, like it's like forever, and
Yeah.
it's been almost 10 years, and you're
Yeah.
still in the same place. You know what I'm saying? And not to say anything bad about him, like at all, because he still has the skills. I mean, they're there. But as time goes on, like it's more time that we waste. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I thank God, like I have you, because I have so many ideas, so many things that I want to do, and that some of them I have accomplished, some of them they're still on the drawing board. But if it wasn't because of that, like I'd be like 10, 15, 20 years, and next thing you know, like I wasted all that time. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting, very, very interesting.
I am going to bring back what something you said, because I asked you, why do you think he's stuck? And you said his environment. And in fact, it's not. The environment where he's at is just a consequence of the fact that he doesn't know his identity. Because if you were a duck, who are you going to hang out with?
The ducks.
But if you're a dog and you were raised with ducks at the farm and you have never seen a dog and you just learned to quack, you're a dog. Who are you going to hang out with?
The ducks.
The ducks.
He's still gonna bark. That's natural.
Actually, he may not.
No,
He may be like,
wow.
okay, and
So
that's where the dog gets stuck with the ducks. And let me tell you something. Even if the dog hangs out with the ducks and knows everything about the ducks and loves the ducks and has been with the ducks forever and eats with the dogs and sleeps with the dogs and whatever you want.
ducks,
By
like
the time
used.
by the
Yeah.
time migration time comes, the dog will never be able to fly with the ducks.
Oh, I love that analogy.
And so the problem for people who are stuck, yes, part of it is the environment. But again, being in a specific environment is a consequence of you not knowing who you are. And that is here and here. And it's the connection between this. That's it.
That's true.
So are you a dog or are you a duck?
Wow, 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 wow. But that's it, man. Like I think that's it. That's gonna be it for today. I think we cover a lot in such a short period of time. It's getting dark. This is our first time again. The American Dreamers Club. You want to be part of the club? I give you a gold membership card.
Are you a duck?
I'm a dog, in a good sense of the word. All right. The American Dreamers Club.